Today we are playing Call of Cthulhu. I have not played this before. This is a horror type game. And, well, let's get right into it. Fudge.
What a putrid offering. Don't fight. You have been chosen. Behold. Everything has already been written. But perhaps you will attempt to change your destiny.
It appears that was all just a dream.
I hate whiskey. Been a while since I jotted down something other than my nightmares.
Pardon me? Yes, indeed, I do believe that this is how you act when drunk. Now who be calling a drunk man?
I'm
That's
listening.
me.
Are you Edward Pierce, private investigator contracted by the Wentworth Detective Agency?
That's correct.
Hello, Mr. Pierce. I'm Lucy Sherrifield, in charge of investigators over at Wentworth. I'm calling because of a problem with your file. A fire has destroyed some of our documents.
Is that right?
I'm so very sorry, but I have to collect your personal information yet again. Thank you for this information, Mr. Pierce. Our files will soon be up to date. And on a related matter, may I raise a sensitive question?
What's wrong?
As you know, we wish to closely monitor the progress of our contractors. And it would seem you've been accepting fewer new cases.
Work is scarce.
Mr. Pierce, you know as well as I do, there's never been more investigative work than now.
But are those cases worth it?
They're worth not losing your license. Show yourself worthy of the Wentworth Detective Agency, and we might keep you on the payroll. Mr. Pierce, do you still...
I'm coming.
Sir, I came here on the advice of a person whom I hold in high esteem, and I must say that I expected anything but a drunkard's lair.
You're free to leave anytime, sir.
Do you know to whom you speak?
Stephen Webster, industrialist and art collector. All of Boston knows you.
Tell me, Mr. Pierce, are you capable of handling a new case, or are you simply a deadbeat inebriate?
If you come to me, it means you're desperate.
Nobody believes me. They take me for an old fool. Sarah, my little girl, she is dead. Even you must know of her. She was Sarah Hawkins.
The painter? Yes. Everyone knows her work.
The police accuse her of killing her family. They all died in a fire. Sarah, her husband, and Simon, my grandson.
I can't do anything for a woman who is already dead.
Find out the truth. They say she was mad, but I know that's a lie. She would never have done such a thing.
But if you have no proof...
I've brought all that I have. Look. I want you to look carefully at this painting. Tell me all the assumptions that come to mind.
What am I supposed to find?
Tell me if this is the work of madness. Or if, on the contrary, you manage to detect some logic, a rationality to follow so that I may understand it.
Is that all you want from me?
Yes, please.
All right. I'll look at your picture. That's all you've got? A painting?
I placed a file on your desk. It contains everything I have on the affair.
A warehouse on Darkwater. Some sketches of the Hawkins family. Rather thin. Its strange beauty isn't enough to hide the feeling of dread it carries.
So, Mr. Pierce, what do you make of these elements?
The sender's label mentions Warehouse 36.
That's right. It came with Sarah's last painting.
And you think your daughter could have been the sender?
That is what you must find out. Go to Darkwater. Find Warehouse 36.
Her husband was a big deal on the island. But the police are sticking to the accident theory. Though they mentioned Sarah's mental state was fragile. I believe you are right, sir. This case is not as simple as it appears.
I am aware of that. I believe there is more to this case than just an accident.
You must tell me if what the police suggest about the mental state of your daughter is true.
No. Sarah had visions. Everyone knew that. She never would have hurt a fly. She only thought she saw things.
Saw things? What do you mean by that?
I never knew what she meant by that. My daughter was an enigmatic figure, Mr. Pierce. You must find out the truth about her life.
Never heard of the place. Where is that?
It's a small, remote island off the coast of Boston. Sarah lived there with her son and her husband.
I suppose you want to ship me off there.
Darkwater holds the secret regarding my daughter, Mr. Pierce. You must uncover it.
I think I'm beginning to understand.
I'm willing to do anything for my daughter to recover her honor.
Quiet down. I'm on your side. Let's sum things up. An artist dies with her family in a house fire. Your only clue is a sort of promontory painting sent from Darkwater right before her death.
Correct. And the rumors about her supposed folly.
Which you don't totally deny.
Sarah Hawkins' death. You'll be handsomely compensated.
All right. I'll take the case. I'll go to Darkwater and look into the death of your daughter.
Thank you, Mr. Pierce. I didn't expect any less coming from a man in your situation.
Something's queer. But it's not like I have a choice. Darkwater.
I have a feeling.
A good old story of blackmail in a speakeasy. Darkwater is off the coast of Boston. But I've never heard of it. According to this book, it was often mentioned during whale hunting times at the end of the 19th century. But it seems to have been shunned since then. All I have to do is go to the port. Natural sciences, linguistics, archaeology. Natural sciences, linguistics, archaeology. I should get rid of all this stuff. Married woman runs off with her girlfriend. The husband couldn't understand it. Wentworth Agency doesn't attract top-notch cases. I used to be an avid reader. Darkwater is off the coast of Boston, but I've never heard of it. According to this book, it was often mentioned during whale hunting time. At the end of the 19th century, but it seems to have been shunned since then.
Up off to dark water we go. The Call of Cthulhu. Oh, sorry about that. That is, ladies and gentlemen. Today is the day where Cthulhu meets his match. A man on a mission. Today, we'll find out what happened to the family. Oh, I'm gonna take a seat real quick. So while we wait for this thing to load, we talk. Well, we might still have time for talking. Oh no, we don't actually, but
Almost there.
Styler.
Stay on board. There's guys coming to unload. Welcome to Darkwater Island, Mr. Pierce.
Why, thank you, Captain.
So, what wind brought you?
Does the Hawkins case mean anything to you?
A sad story that we would all prefer to forget. Charles Hawkins may have been a landlubber, but he was a good man.
And his wife, Sarah Hawkins.
Great painter, what a tragedy. You know what? Go have a drink at the Stranded Whale. What you need is a good pick-me-up. Mitchell may not be very welcoming, but his bar holds a surprise for you. As for me, you'll find me at the Harbor Master's office. If it's the Hawkins family that brings you here, I have a pile of documents that should interest you.
Understood. I'm going for a look around the docks.
Let the police do their work. The same goes for you, sir. Move along.
I'm looking for this address. Warehouse 36, Darkwater Harbor.
Ah. And so who are you?
I didn't introduce myself. Edward Pierce, private detective.
In any case, it's not very important. I can't answer that.
You can't? Or you don't want to?
Oh, no. I'm not getting into those games, me. Now, please, allow me to do my job.
You can't understand. You're not sailors. It's a sign. There's...
The blood is just beginning to coagulate. It died a short time ago. Only a specialist would know what killed it.
You can't understand. You're not sailors. It's a sign. There's something coming. Something real bad.
Don't put that beast back in the water, you shysters! You're crazy!
They're cops. They can't understand.
Damn stupid idiots.
Hey, be careful. Let's get him another drink. He's dry.
In my bar, we don't serve troublemakers.
Pure instinct. I behaved like a Hun, and I sincerely apologize.
Veteran, huh?
307th Infantry Regiment.
Oh. Well, that'll be okay for now. But the war is over. Try not to forget it.
I'm here for information, not for a fight.
I prefer it that way. Speak then. I reserve the right to answer or not.
Do you know where this place is? Warehouse 36, Darkwater Harbor.
The Hawkins warehouse. I see, yeah. If I were you, I wouldn't hang around there.
Why not?
First off, there are rumors. Sailors from around here say you can hear noises coming from the warehouse at night. Screams, that sort of thing.
Screams?
And that's not all. There's the fate of its owners and all the superstitions that go with it. But I'll say no more. Anything else?
What can you tell me about her?
We all knew she was famous on the mainland for her paintings. Never understood why. Then, I don't want to speak ill of the dead.
Her vision. Was it so terrible?
Way I see it, the truth is really a question of point of view.
What do you mean by that?
Do you still trust the truth after a bottle of whiskey?
Her style made her famous. How would you describe it? Tortured?
Yeah, well, it wasn't normal. I mean, for a young woman with a child and all that. We saw them in the papers and we said to ourselves, who can paint such things? Is that how she sees the world?
So they made you feel uncomfortable?
You need to see them for yourself. Make up your own mind.
I've got what I need.
Anything else?
The stranded whale. I guess this bar has been here a long time.
What can I tell you? I'm a nostalgic sort of guy. The name, it reminds us of the golden age of dockwater. When our whalers left for long months and came back, sweating and stinking of the oil and flesh of us then.
Captain Fitzroy told me about a little pick-me-up.
You want a drink?
I wouldn't say no to a glass.
Try this.
I think we'll get along well. That'll be all for now.
What you looking at, stranger?
I'm just passing by, sorry.
Let me drink, stranger.
The miraculous catch. Apparently, the most significant event of the last 80 years. The miraculous catch. Apparently, the most significant event of the last 80 years.
Oh, so that's all he has to say.
Do you like our song?
We're true sirens. We may not be pros, but we give it all we've got.
That's true. It's a reminder of the time when we were still fishing for whales off Darkwater Island.
I've never heard this song before.
Only people from here know it. It tells the story of the miraculous catch.
I saw the newspaper clipping. You don't believe it, do you?
Watch what you say, young man.
That catch saved our island.
Ah. Where's the proof?
We're the proof.
Without it, the whole of Darkwater would have died of hunger in 1847.
It's true. Everything happened just as it says in the newspaper report. Our grandparents tasted its flesh.
And it was delicious.
What brought whaling to an end?
The whales, of course.
They all disappeared.
You exhausted the stocks.
You could say that, yes. There were fewer and fewer of them.
Until the last, the biggest.
The one of the miraculous catch.
Exactly.
I bid you farewell, gentlemen.
Good night, stranger.
So long.
You bilge rats don't scare me.
There's nothing for you
What
here
did he
either.
call us just now?
Beat it.
I said you were a bilge rat. And even a poxed limpet. You think we don't know what you're doing?
Prohibition is just a joke around here. That suits me fine. I wonder what Captain Fitzroy has got to say about this woman cat. Fishing equipment. Could do with some rust remover. A souvenir from a more prosperous era. I guess this blackboard hasn't been wiped for more than 70 years. A Scylla. It finished up beached at the entrance to the harbor. This man and Fitzroy could be twins. What a macabre souvenir.
I've brought out the Charles Hawkins cargo manifests. They're on the table next to you. But in truth, you're likely to be disappointed. When you're done, come join me on the deck.
These manifests are signed by Charles Hawkins. That's all I'll get from them. Broken. This place seems half abandoned.
From here, I see everything that goes on in the harbor. Captain on Darkwater. Tell me what I can do to help you.
I found a threatening letter, signed by a certain cat.
What? I don't mind you visiting my harbor master's office, but I'd prefer if you didn't go through my affairs.
Are you being blackmailed?
Not exactly, no. That shyster wants to make us pay protection money.
With any success?
I wouldn't say that, but she terrifies my men as much as her own.
Can you not do anything to stop her?
Don't you worry about that.
I was looking at your photograph. One of the man in front of the boat.
Ah, yes, I can see the one you're talking about.
Interesting resemblance. I thought it was you, but with a wooden leg.
And for good reason. That's my father in the photograph.
Your father?
John Fitzroy, captain of the Scylla. His wooden leg is here. You can go and see it if you're interested.
I'm just back from the wharves. The dead killer whale is unsettling the sailors.
Ah, yes. Us men of the sea are superstitious folk.
Killer whales don't have many known predators.
That's true. And normally, they're not found around here. But, you're gonna take me for a fool.
Give it a try.
Have you heard about the depths? Trenches that plunge into the earth, and that shelter creatures unlike any other.
You're talking about mythology.
Ha! Indeed, you're right.
The police took the decision to put the killer whale back into the sea.
You've got to understand them. They didn't know what to do with it.
I think that was a mistake. Who says that whatever caused those wounds is no longer in these waters?
You think we should have kept it?
To look into the real cause of its death, at least. The miraculous catch. Is it a local legend?
Not at all. It's an episode from our glorious past. Go read the story of the sailor's return to Darkwater Harbor. It's displayed on a wall of the stranded whale.
Your manifests have been blacked out. They're totally unreadable.
Yeah, I saw that. I've got no idea who did it or why. I don't remember having countersigned anything special enough for someone to hide it.
And why obliterate the dates, as well as the goods stored in the warehouse?
You mean that the dates have some meaning?
I'm surprised Charles Hawkins had goods to store, knowing that whaling stopped in 1847.
I see that you're interested in the history of our island. Indeed, maritime activities ceased altogether at the end of the last century. I imagine that the Hawkins family had other types of contracts.
But you don't know with whom?
No, it was none of my business.
I'm looking for Warehouse 36. Do you know where it is?
Look, it's right there. The warehouse is opposite the jetty. You can't miss it.
Understood.
You know who the building belongs to, don't you?
It belonged to the Hawkins family.
Precisely. Ship owners from father to son.
I think that somebody here wanted me to search this warehouse. I shall be on my way.
So come back and see me when you've got something new.
Don't put that beast back in the water, you shysters! You're crazy!
Where do you think you're going?
Who are these others so interested in the warehouse?
And why would I tell you?
What's the difference between a police officer and a private detective?
The badge?
Exactly. Apart from that piece of metal, there's nothing that sets us apart.
You think so?
We're looking for the same thing, you and I.
Okay, okay. Spare me the next verse. I'll tell you what I know. There are sailors who think that there's a beast prowling around the docks. Then again, these guys panic at the thought of bringing a rabbit onto a boat, so...
I see.
And there are others who would like to use the warehouses for their goods.
Who are they?
Sorry, I really can't talk about them.
To hinder your work, officer. Edward Pierce, private detective.
Sorry, we're all a little on edge today. What are you doing here?
I'm investigating the death of the Hawkins family.
Darn it. Why do you want to drag up all that stuff again?
My investigation has led me to this warehouse.
That case was closed months ago.
What more can you say about the death of the Hawkins family?
Not much more than what everyone knows. I wasn't on the case. They were all burnt to death, right? Up at their place.
The whole mansion went up in flames.
Don't get it into your head to go wandering around up there. It's dangerous.
What do you mean by that?
The only one left there is old Silas, and the accident has affected him badly. He can be unpredictable, especially if a stranger starts poking around the property.
Is he a danger to the public?
No, he's in his own home. Do yourself a favor. Leave him well alone. You again? I told you to beat it.
No need to get worked up.
You again? I told you to beat it.
No need to get worked up. You live here?
Why did you do that, huh?
We saw what you did to St. Brendan.
Yeah, we'll teach you to come onto our island and ridicule our protectors.
I've never heard of this saint. Is it a local belief?
But everyone knows St. Brendan, the Navigator.
He's the patron saint of whales and whalers.
What happened to the statue?
Go see for yourself. He's at the end of the jetty.
There's you, our beloved statue, and then those two bozos behind us. Wait, now that I think about it, it's got to be them. There's one of them who's always going back and forth to the statue.
Quieter. That's all we need for them to hear us.
What brings you to dark water?
The two guys behind you. What are they guarding?
The bootleggers. Scum.
They're protecting their territory. From whom, I wonder?
They really don't have a choice anyway. They're more scared of Cat than an attack by drunken sailors.
If only they would kill each other.
Is it Cat who's shaking down Captain Fitzroy?
Oh, hold on just a minute. We didn't tell you a thing.
Nothing at all.
That statue represents your local saint.
What do you mean by local, exactly?
You wouldn't be looking down at us, like all townspeople do.
St. Brendan. He protected whalers and fishermen like us. Until those assholes defaced him.
Peculiar house.
Yeah, that's where we live. Our boat.
It's not because it doesn't float anymore that we're going to abandon it.
Isn't it a bit early for alcohol?
We got nothing better to do anyway. There's not much work around here.
Fitzroy gives us a few chores every now and again, but since the whaling station shut down, ain't a lot of jobs left around here.
So we drink.
I've taken enough of your time.
We'll see you later.
That's no way.
What could have done so much damage?
You
can't understand. You're not sailors. It's a sign. There's something coming.
Damnation. I broke it. It's no use. The padlock won't give. It's no use. The padlock won't give.
No, if it gets out, I'll have serious problems with you-know-who.
I bet that you hid them somewhere. How could you be dumb enough to leave the entrance to the warehouses unguarded?
Keep your voice down. Why not go and shout at the cat while you're at it? I don't want to end up with her little knife under my throat.
It's a stiletto, you idiot. And with that smell on your breath, I don't give you much chance anyway.
You again. I told you to beat it.
No need to get worked up.
It's a sign. There's something coming. Something real bad.
You're back again. What can I do for you?
These bootleggers seem unwilling to let anyone approach the warehouses.
They're part of the private property I mentioned earlier.
And yet the place looks abandoned. Why guard the entrance?
As a precaution, I suppose. All the warehouses are more or less interconnected by old sewers.
You mean that there's a way to go from one to the other by tunnel?
I couldn't tell you if it's still the case today for all the warehouses on the island, but I think I can imagine what you've got in mind. You can always visit them if you're not the claustrophobic type.
What? Another break? I told you to beat it. 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 I told you to beat it.
You have no right to treat us like this. And the doctor, what did he say?
Charles Hawkins was a heavy drinker. And a debtor. Interesting. Prohibition is just a joke around here. That suits me fine.
You saw what happened with those sailors. Don't hang around here unless you want trouble with the bootleggers.
I've seen the kind of messages their boss sends. You're not scared of her.
Of course I am. Everyone's scared of that woman. She's not interested in small fry like me. You, on the other hand, nose around too much, you'll have dealings with her.
This warehouse looks abandoned. Why does it interest them so much?
No doubt a question of territory, but I ain't asking. You want to know more, go ask the captain.
Good. Thank you.